You know what I love to see in a wedding? What gives it so much definition and richness? Not talking about the venue or the decor, not the florist or the caterer. What I am talking about is incorporating your cultural customs and traditions into your celebration. Hi, welcome back. If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Khadija and I bring you content on all things weddings and events. In this video, I'm talking about some of my favorite wedding customs and traditions from different cultures. They are all beautiful, and this is in no particular order. So without further ado, let's get started. The tasting of the four flavors. This is a ritual that occurs in a few different cultures and in a number of different ways. But at the core, it always represents the same thing, which are the different times and moods that we experience within a marriage. It's meant to show the couple that marriage will not always be all good. There will be some tough times, and what they are signing up for is to stick with each other through it all. You might see this incorporated into an African American wedding ceremony where there will be 4 items put on display, and each of those items represents a different element of marriage, a different experience within the marriage. The bride and groom will both take a taste of all 4 of those items, and they typically are a lemon for sourness, vinegar for bitterness, cayenne pepper for spiciness, and honey for sweetness. You might also see this in the Chinese culture, where on the day of the wedding, when the groom is undergoing all kinds of challenges to prove his worthiness of the bride, one of those challenges might be to have him taste something that is sweet, sour, bitter, and spicy. The Malinke tribe in West Africa have their own spin on it. For them, the bride is bathed prior to the wedding by an elder woman. And at that time, she is made to touch hot water, not scalding, but hot. And that represents the heat that can come within a marriage. So the fights and the arguments. She then touches cold water to represent the times of coolness within a marriage, where everything is going well, tempers are down, it's all good. She then touches lukewarm water, which represents the balance of the two, the balance that is needed to have a successful marriage. So when the bride is heated, the groom needs to remain cool and be there for her. Vice versa, when the groom is heated, the bride needs to be his sense of calm. After that, the bride is dressed in all white, and she is taken into a room where all the elder women within her family and those that helped in her upbringing are seated, and they take turns going around giving her advice. And it's just absolutely beautiful. Jumping the broom. The origins of this ritual are highly debated, but without a doubt, it's been most popularized within African American weddings. And that dates back to the days of slavery, when marriages between enslaved individuals were not legally recognized or protected. So they created this as a way to honor the sweeping away of their old lives and the beginning of their new lives together. It is said that the bristles on a broom represent the individuality of the couple and their families, while the handle represents togetherness and the joining of the two families. Now, back in the day, a broom was a broom, maybe minimally decorated, but in modern times, let me tell you, the broom is sometimes one of the best dressed in attendance. It's not uncommon for them to be completely blinged out with crystals, lace, satin. I mean, I've literally done a wedding where the broom was designed by a celebrity stylist. So it's a big deal. And it becomes a keepsake for the couple. They'll often have it on display somewhere in their home.
I am so sorry to interrupt, but if you like what you see, let's make it official. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget to put a ring on that notification bell.
The calabash. The calabash is integral in a West African wedding. It is a gourd from the calabash tree that is hollowed out and dried and used as a bowl to hold a bunch of different items, all with significance. So the groom's family brings the calabash over to the bride's family prior to the wedding. And inside are the bride price, which is money from the groom to the bride's family, and it's a sign of respect. There is needle and thread, and the needle and thread basically symbolize that in times of difficulty, the bride and the groom will work together to always patch things up. There will be sugar, salt, cola nuts, and cola nuts are a staple in just about every type of ceremony in the West African culture. They represent honor and respect. And they are also really bitter when you bite into it. But after a while, it leaves a little bit of a sweet taste. So in the sense of it being in the calabash, it also represents that when things get bitter, what will always prevail is the sweetness, which is the love. And then there will also be some rice in the calabash, and the rice signifies abundance and always providing for the family. The SOFREH. The SOFREH is the centerpiece of a Persian wedding ceremony. It is an opulent display, like a spread, where every item represents a different blessing for the marriage. It is so lavish that it can take sometimes up to 4 hours for them to set up the SOFREH. But it is absolutely gorgeous and breathtaking. And the items that you'll see on the SOFREH, there will always be a mirror. And the mirror brings a quality of being reflective. It signifies a bright future for the couple. There will be candles to signify energy and clarity. There will be a holy book of choice. There will be these beautifully decorated eggs to symbolize fertility, and nuts for abundance. There will be gold for prosperity. There will be lots of fruit. And I don't just mean the regular fruit that you and I are used to, but lots of exotic fruit. And the fruit represents a joyous future for the couple. There will also be lots of sweets to signify a sweet life, a sweet marriage for the couple. And there is something really neat that they do at the ceremony where a white cloth is placed over the couple's head. And happily married members of their family and guests in attendance take turns grinding sugar over their heads. So in essence, they are showering them with sweetness and passing on their blessings to this new couple. The BARAAT. The BARAAT is a tradition in Hindu and Sikh weddings, and this one is all about the groom. It is his arrival to the venue, and he comes in on a white horse or an elephant, or in modern times it might be a luxury car. But whatever his mode of transportation, it is decked out to match his swag. And he is accompanied by the groomsmen and his family and friends, and it's like one big dance party from the start of the procession all the way to the end. It's led by drummers, and there's usually a mobile DJ, and the music is just really high percussion, high upbeat. You can't help but want to join. And when he gets to the end, he's greeted by the female relatives of the bride and then the male relatives of the bride. And ultimately, he gets to his bride. So those were just a few of the customs and traditions that can add meaning and symbolism to a wedding. While they all have their own nuances, as you've seen, there are a lot of commonalities, all centered around the honoring of the families and the representation of marriage in its entirety. What are some of the customs and traditions in your culture? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And if you're interested in securing me for any planning or consultation services, my contact info is in the description box below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.